delivery. This time you don't see me in deep space where I usually am, but this time I'm in the main gallery from Ars Electronica, and we are in the part of the exhibition called Global Shift. And behind you already see the installation which I'm going to explain first. Ars Electronica calls itself the Museum of Art, Technology and Society. And we try to present new technologies in the form of art. And this is the #1 example of this concept. New technologies have the possibility to change a society. And the technology which I'm going to explain now is laser scan. Normally, if visitors would be here and I'm on a guided tour, then I would have them guess which technology they are seeing. But as long as it's only me and the technicians, I have to give it away. So behind me, you see a beautiful image done with laser scans, and whenever you do a laser scan, you can later on decide how big you want the pixels to be. And in this artwork, the pixels are as big as styropor little balls. What you see, again, I would have the visitors guess, and most do guess that they are looking into a forest, and a rather natural forest at that too. Maybe it's fitting for a museum as well, because there are not too many natural forests with all the deforestation going on. So maybe forests will really be an exhibit for a museum in the very near future. Okay, the second installation from Global Shift, which I'm going to present to you, is called Stuff in Space. This is also a program which you can check out on the internet. So, and it's a live simulation of all the things orbiting the Earth. As you can see here, that we kind of produced our own ring like Saturn. But this ring is not made of ice crystals, but of satellites. Everything you see in red is a satellite. Everything you see in blue is a part of a rocket. And everything you see in gray is debris. So those are either one glove flew away from a spaceship once, or satellites which are not functioning anymore. At the moment, there are around 5,500 satellites in orbit, and 2,300 were still functioning. This is, you can find that on the ESA website, Debris in Space in Numbers. But that was last updated in February. In the meanwhile, Elon Musk added quite a lot of Starlink satellites. 597 are up there right now, but we are going to look at them a little bit later. Here you see this ring of satellites around the equator, and there are different kinds of satellites. These are geostationary satellites, means that they move along with the Earth, so it looks as if the satellite would be standing right in front of a spot. And this can only happen at a very certain distance. This distance here is 35,600 kilometers. And those satellites are flying with a speed of around 2.3 kilometers per second. Then there is a second category. Most satellites belong to this second category. Those are low Earth orbits. And here, perchance, we have a chain of Starlink satellites already. But most of the ESA, Copernicus satellites and so on are also flying in low Earth orbits. Low Earth orbits would be an orbit from 400, but some of them are even at 250 kilometers above the surface of the Earth, up to around 3,000. Most of the ESA satellites are flying at 800 kilometers per second. And the Starlinks will have different heights. At the moment, as I said, there are around 600 up there, 3 less than 600. Until the end of the year, there's supposed to be 1,400 Starlink satellites. Then the next goal from Elon Musk will be 12,000 satellites, and he asked for the permission to launch another over 30,000 satellites. So in the end, there might be 44,000 satellites going up there. And when last year in February, they tried to work out how to get the satellites down from their orbit. But they didn't care about the other satellites. There was the brand new ESA satellite Aeolus, and the ESA already noticed there is quite a good chance that those satellites will crash. And then they tried to call SpaceX and to inform them that those one Starlink satellite and the Aeolus are on a collision course. They couldn't reach anyone. No one answered the email. Nothing happened. So ESA had to lift Aeolus 350 meters. And this was the very first time that ESA had to do that because 2 satellites were on a collision course. So back at that time, there were not even 200 satellites up there, and they still didn't care. This is my very personal opinion, but if there are 44,000 up there and then no one answers the phone, Okay. The goal is to provide high-speed internet to all to everyone. But if you really need 44,000 satellites, also it's a problem for astronomers because they cannot take pictures anymore. Because whenever they point their cameras up into the sky for more than a minute, a Starlink satellite. This already happened with the comet Neo, where just recently, if you want to check out how that looks, you find quite a lot of YouTube videos. And why is so much stuff up there? Because when we first started with Sputnik, they didn't think, Sputnik did nothing else but orbiting the Earth and sending a beep, but still it was a shock because the Americans knew that maybe the Russians could reach America with rockets if they can launch a satellite. And later on, this is a favorite of my visitors very often. If you're interested in that, why there is so much stuff up there, check out Operation Keyhole, because the very first satellites for espionage which they launched, they had something like 36 photos film up there, and when the 4 pictures were shot, then a parachute glided down with the capsule down to Earth, and a bomber started and opened, and I don't know what Enterhaken means in English, but a soldier tried to capture those 4 images, and they had only 9 parcels with 4 pictures up there. And then it was done. The satellite was still up there, but it couldn't do anything anymore. If you are interested in this story, check out Operation Keyhole on the internet. But this here is, as I said, a live thing, but maybe remember Stuff in Space, because you can do it on your own at home, and then you can zoom in on a satellite. You see this, for example, is you see the orbit, the velocity, and everything else. And with this, I'm ending the home delivery for now. Maybe someday you come and check it out in the museum. Thank you for your attention.